Hi guys, my name is Melissa and this is my first video obviously on my Reborn doll collection channel. It's called Melissa's Happy Bundles Nursery, and I wanted to start this channel because I love the Reborn community. I love Reborn dolls. I love doll collecting, and I wanted to share my collection with the community and just be a bigger part of the community through YouTube. I've made some wonderful friends. I started getting into the Reborns during the pandemic when it first started. I have cerebral palsy and I'm in a wheelchair, so I have a compromised immune system. So I really had to be careful about social distancing and being around people when the coronavirus and the pandemic started. And I needed a way to connect with people more. So I started seeing dolls, these beautiful dolls, and I've always loved dolls since I was little. My great aunt, which was my mom's aunt, so my great aunt also loved dolls, and one of the last Christmas presents she gave me when I was, 26, was a doll that came out the year I was born. So we both had a passion and a love for dolls. And when I found out about the Reborn dolls, I was just fascinated and fell in love. And it was a beautiful hobby that helped me connect with people during a time when connection was hard because of quarantining and the pandemic. I'm currently in my bed, as you can see. One, because it's my day off and I spend a lot of time sitting down with my legs down, so that causes them to swell. So on my day off, when I can be in the bed and keep my legs up, it helps them to not swell and just to get me reset and ready for the week to start again, or the next day to start, by resting them when I can. And also right now, because it's evening, the best lighting is here in my bedroom, and I also have the strongest internet connection here in my bedroom, so that's why I'm filming in my bed. I hope you don't mind. As I said, I have cerebral palsy, so I use an electric wheelchair to get around. I can walk and stand with bars or with something to hold on to, but my balance is not good, so I have to use a wheelchair. And I also have a form of leukemia from chemo treatment that I got for a different type of cancer. I had a gynecological cancer first in 2009, and then I was cancer free for 5 years and then developed leukemia from the treatment of the first cancer. So I have leukemia also, but it is stable, which means I'm not in remission. It's not gone, but it doesn't get worse or better. It's just kind of stable. And thankfully, because it's stable, I'm not having to get any chemo treatment right now, and hopefully I won't for a long time. I just get regular blood transfusions once a month or once every 6 weeks. But it does cause me to get infections easily, so I have to rest as much as I can and take care of myself as best I can, but be particularly careful as we've been going through the pandemic. So I wanted to do the get to know me tag since this is the first video, and I thought it was a nice tag that was started by Country Cottage, that channel. And I also wanted to share with you my latest addition to my nursery. This is my sweet little Addison Misty, and she was reborn by Kits to Cradle Nursery. Misty is the artist, and so I named her Addison Misty after the artist that painted her, because we've become good friends and because Misty, the artist, is so sweet and loving. This doll just reminded me of her so much that I named her Addison Misty, and I'm going to call her Misty by her middle name in honor of the artist that reborned her. But I love her blue eyes. She has beautifully painted hair, and her mottling and veining. I'm sorry the lighting's not so great right now, but Misty did a fantastic job. And she is the Betty Sculpt, Bettie, and she's definitely reborn size. And this is one of the dresses that came with her box opening, and I'll share box openings hopefully on this channel as well. You can see how beautiful her little hand is, and she's the latest one in my collection, and that's another reason why I wanted to start this channel, to share my beautiful, beautiful babies with you guys. So let's get into the tag. Hopefully the video won't be too terribly long. I put the questions in my phone here, so let's see. The first question is, what is my current or previous job? Well, I currently am an intuitive counselor, which means that I help people find their pets if they go missing. I help people, or I give people guidance with their relationships, with their career path, with what's coming up in the future. I also help people connect to people who've passed away. That's a gift or a talent that I've had since I was very little, and it ran in my family because my grandmother had it, my mom had it, my sister has that ability too, but I'm the only one that does it now professionally. But I'm trained through school as a mental health counselor, and I worked as a counselor for 15 years under another licensed doctor, or under different licensed doctors. I am still working on my doctorate degree, but I had to stop when I got cancer the first time. Hopefully I can finish it. I'm very close to being finished, but I was able to work as a therapist for many years under other doctors, and I specialized in working with children who were being removed from abusive environments. I worked as a marriage and family counselor for couples therapy through my university. I worked a lot with people dealing with addictions, drug addictions, alcohol addictions, sex addictions, every kind of addiction, food addictions. There was addiction issues in my family, so I had personal experience of, growing up with people who struggled with addiction, and it made me very passionate about helping people with those struggles. Fortunately, I didn't struggle with addiction myself, but I wanted to be able to help people that did. So I specialized in addictions, and I also specialized in working with children with autism. I worked under a doctor that was her full practice, and I tended to be very good with those children and their families. So I worked many, many years for children and their families dealing with autism. And it's still an area and a population of individuals that I love helping and that I'm passionate about. And I'm also very passionate about childhood cancer because I've been a cancer patient myself, and I've worked a lot with children, and there's a lot more research that needs to be done and new treatments that need to be created for children who go through cancer, because children's bodies are spawned differently than adults, and many of the treatments that children go through are the same treatments that they give adults, but children's bodies work differently. So more research needs to be done specifically about childhood cancer. And so I'm very passionate about that because I became friends with a little girl named Talia Castellano who was battling neuroblastoma cancer and pre-leukemia, and she was extremely talented with makeup, and she taught me everything I know about makeup, which is another one of my passions. But she lost her battle with cancer, and so I've become very, very passionate and an advocate for children with cancer, as well as just the well-being of children in general. But now, currently, as I said, I work as an intuitive counselor, helping people find their missing pets, helping people deal with every kind of problem you can think of by intuitively giving them information and guidance. And I also communicate with people's pets. I have a very strong connection with animals, and I help the pets communicate their feelings, or if they're going through health problems, to their owners. And I can go into that more in another video if you're interested. But that's a little bit about what I do and what my career path has been. The next question is goals for 2022. My goals for this year are to stay as healthy as possible, to grow this channel because this is my first video, and I have another YouTube channel that's mainly about ASMR. ASMR is making sounds or creating sounds with different objects or your voice that help people relax. You can research what ASMR is, but I have another YouTube channel called Missy's ASMR and More that I want to continue to grow because I love ASMR and being an ASMR artist, and I'd love to grow this channel and then continue to grow my business as an intuitive counselor and inspire people as much as I can, and just continue to grow my friends and the community of the Reborn dolls, and connect with other cut collectors, and also connect with other artists. The third question is, let's see, hobbies aside from dolls. Well, I talked a little bit about that. I love makeup. I didn't know anything about makeup even when I became an adult. I always looked younger when I was a child, and so I never really wore a lot of makeup at all, because I would have looked like, even when I was a teenager, I would have looked like a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old wearing makeup, and I just never wore makeup because I was always a smaller child and looked younger. But when I became an adult and I started doing public shows where I would do group readings for people or intuitive counseling for people in large groups or in theaters, I needed to wear makeup or wanted to wear makeup just to feel pretty and to look more professional. So I looked up makeup gurus or makeup artists, and Talia Castellano, that little girl, came up, and she was young. She was about 11 or 12 at the time, and she was doing incredible makeup jobs for many, many people. And she had a YouTube channel of over 1 million people, and I messaged her. Her channel wasn't that big at the time that I messaged her, but I asked her what type of makeup would go best with the outfit that I had planned for a show that I was doing, and she helped me over Skype, and we just became friends. And then because I was a counselor, I talked to her about, how she dealt with cancer, and I also because I had gone through cancer myself. That's my kitty Magic. He's very vocal. Because I had gone through cancer myself, I understood a lot of what she was feeling. And now, even though Talia lost her battle to neuroblastoma and passed away in 2013, I'm very close to her mom and her sister. So, another hobby I have is being an advocate for children with cancer and makeup and the artistry of makeup, because I also used makeup a lot when I was bald from chemo treatment, just to make me feel more confident. So that's another hobby or interest that I have. And I love, love, love music, because I used to be a semi professional singer. I was in several choirs and I was recorded several times professionally. I sang as a child with many adults, and I was offered a record deal when I was 17. But unfortunately, when I got leukemia, it attacked my thyroid, and my thyroid had to be removed, and that changed my singing voice. And so I couldn't sing the same anymore, but I still hear music the same, so I love it. And I love to write, and I have a degree in creative writing as well as mental health counseling. So I love to write um, songs, and I love to write scripts for TV or for movies, anything that's creative writing, and then combining that with music. And of course, making the ASMR videos because I love sound and I love helping people relax. I got into ASMR when I was having anxiety from dealing with cancer. So those are kind of my other hobbies besides. I love watching movies and television shows because of the creative writing aspect and because of the art of acting. Anything that relates to art, really, I am very, very passionate about, especially acting, singing, um, and music. It's a favorite relaxing activity. That would be making ASMR videos. As I said, I have another YouTube channel that's an ASMR video. I'm very passionate about that. And I listen to ASMR videos to help me relax and go to sleep. And I also listen to music to help me relax. And then, of course, I play with my dollies, and I love dressing them and taking pictures of them, which helps me relax after a long, busy day, because sometimes I work 12 hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the week, helping people. And so, in order to relax and kind of decompress from that and helping them deal with most of the time problems, I relax by playing with the dollies and spending time with the dollies, cuddling the dollies, as most of us do as collectors, I think. Would I prefer city living, country living, or remote living? I'm definitely a cities girl. I grew up in Washington, D.C., or Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. I love being around people. I love when there's busyness going on. I love the sounds of a city, anything with sound. I love the busyness of a city. Before the pandemic, I loved like Christmas shopping with all the people around. I love traveling and learning about new cultures and being around new people. I've traveled outside of the country. I've traveled to Australia, and I've done readings for people in Australia and in theaters in other countries. I've been to England and I've been to Paris. So traveling to other big cities I love. I also love nature and animals, as I mentioned before. but I'd only want to go to the country for vacation, maybe for a week. After that, I would get bored. I love the city and action and just the hustle and bustle of that. I miss DC a lot. I live in South Florida now, but I really love the city. What is your nationality? I actually traced back my family tree and we come from England. We come from the heart of England, and I have a very deep connection with London or England. Because of that, I think I've had several past lives in England or London, and when I was in England, I felt very at home. It was actually more wheelchair friendly over there in England than it is here in the United States, and I just love it. So that's my nationality. My mom was born in San Francisco. My grandmother on my mom's side was born in Texas. Excuse me. So, obviously I'm American, but my nationality is from England. My favorite meal or dessert. My favorite meal is sushi. I love, love, love sushi. I also love, this is really random, but mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes. If I had a choice between French fries and mashed potatoes, I would choose mashed potatoes. I've always loved mashed potatoes ever since I was little. It's just one of my favorite things to eat, and sushi. I could eat sushi every single day. My favorite dessert would be anything chocolate. If it's my birthday and somebody asks me what kind of cake do you want, it's always going to be vanilla cake with a chocolate icing. I also am a huge fan of smoothies, fresh fruit smoothies, but chocolate would be number one. I, excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing. I have like a little tickle in my throat, but I love gummy bears, and I also love chocolate Cadbury eggs, which come out this time of year for Easter, but my favorite would be chocolate. Sorry, my phone keeps shutting off. Favorite types of sports and exercise. Well, I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't do some sports, but I do adaptive skiing. I learned to ski in Steamboat, Colorado, and I'm quite good at it. It's a special ski for people that can't stand. You sit in kind of what looks like a sled, and you have small, short poles, like skiing poles, and you maneuver yourself, your body back and forth to turn the sled and use the poles to go down the slopes. And I love adaptive skiing. I also love wheelchair yoga. I sometimes, before the pandemic, would attend regular yoga classes, and then the instructor would change each pose or change the yoga stances so that I could do something similar from my wheelchair. So I love wheelchair yoga. I also have my own exercise routine that I do lifting weights, and as I said, I can stand if I'm holding on to something. So I have bars, of course, in my bathroom to help me stand, and I stand and sit, stand and sit, stand and sit from holding on to those bars, and have my own little exercise routine that I do about 3 times a week. And I also love, love, love doing TikTok dances because, of course, that involves music and moving in my wheelchair. So If you'd like to see some of my TikTok dances from my wheelchair, my TikTok channel is M, like my first name, so M, and then my last name, Heavener, Hev as in Victor, Enor, so M Heavener. You can see that on TikTok if you'd like to. But those are my forms of exercise. But as far as sports, even though I cannot play, I love, love, love basketball and I love baseball. My favorite basketball team are the LA Lakers, and my favorite baseball team are the New York Yankees. So I hope you've gotten to learn a little bit more about me. I can't wait to show you more of my dolly collection, but ooh, 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 sorry, sweet girl. It's a little hard to hold her up in front of the camera from my bed, but Addison would like to say goodbye, and I will show her in other videos. I want to do box opening videos and show you, different outfits with my babies and all the different babies that are in my collection. Thank you for watching this. I know it's been a little long, and we love you, and take good care of your babies and do what makes you happy. Enjoy this hobby, and thank you for being here. Bye from myself and from my sweet, sweet Addison, who, like I said, is the Betty Sculpt. Bettie. Bye, guys.